All right, Madeline, come on up. Dazzle us.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you. Keep it going for Mike. Good Lord. I forced him to kill time and he did it magnificently, seamlessly, like a professional. Very impressive. It's a hard act to follow. And Matt Bird as well. What a terrific performance. Thank you, Matt Bird. And enjoy California. Fly safe. It's been lovely having you. And let's see. Well, it's very hard to follow all of that. Oh yes, I did enjoy your material about about religion. That was funny. But I won't start there because Facebook keeps cancelling my. No, I don't know whether it's my vulgarity that is the reason. I feel like maybe somebody playing copyrighted music in their set. I think that's more reasonable. It couldn't possibly be because I kept taunting people with my fisting story last time. I'm not even going to go there this time, just in case Facebook's decided that I'm not allowed to talk about that. So anyway, by the way, in the last week, I was here last Sunday, and in the last week, I've had quite an eventful time. So I've been in the emergency room with a suspected heart attack. I've been hired by a dominatrix to go on a week-long trip as a stand-up comedian in Cozumel. And I had my birthday 2 days ago. So, big week for me. Thank you very much. So I'll tell you about it chronologically. Heart attack first. I didn't have one, by the way. So that's the good news. But the bad news is I had to go to the emergency room because I had six symptoms of having a heart attack. By the way, those are, as the emergency room doctor told me after hour 2 of being hooked up to machines that go ping and having my blood taken and generally being scared shitless by people scurrying around me. What I found out from the doctor 2 hours into that rather interesting experience, what I thought was, a near-death experience. It wasn't, but that's what I thought. And that was my reality for a couple of hours. And after that, the doctor said, "Oh, you were wise to come in because the symptoms you had and the symptoms I had were pain in the heart." That was a clue. Pain in the back of the heart, like the back heart area. Pain in the neck, but I think anybody who's got any technological devices has a pain in the neck if they really look hard enough. Sorry, I've given you a pain in the neck. Yeah, by proxy. I feel like you're a very empathetic person.
I remembered it.
I just remembered my neck pain. I'm so sorry. I'll just talk about the good symptoms from now on. A feeling of euphoria, that was one of them. No, sorry. Unfortunately, the symptoms aren't great. So, yes, what else? Oh, dizziness, nausea, and sudden fatigue. And I was reading the list of symptoms while I was having a quite acute pain in my chest. Not a cute pain, but acute pain. So, I was having an acute pain in my chest and reading these symptoms. And at the bottom of the symptoms, the last 2 were anxiety and a sense of impending doom. So, but the thing is, anybody who's got any of the other symptoms, because it says at the top of the symptoms list, if you have any of these symptoms, go immediately to the emergency room. And so I was reading the symptoms going, yes. There were 4 that I didn't have, very grateful about that, but 6 that I did have, and then the bottom 2, 11 and 12, were anxiety and a sense of doom. And I thought, well, now I do have anxiety and a sense of impending doom. And they've just come on quite quickly as I was reading the list. Isn't that strange? So, I went there and he said, unfortunately, the symptoms you have, you were correct to come in, and please, if you have these symptoms, come in again. So, public health warning, go to the hospital if you have those. But he said those symptoms are indistinguishable without these machines. They're indistinguishable from the anxiety and stress you may have had and severe indigestion. And I thought back to, hang on a minute, Monday was a shitty day and I ate a fuck-it pizza that evening. And so I think that, the onslaught of wheat and cheese and generally the things that I don't usually have in my diet gave me symptoms so severe I decided to go to the emergency room. And I don't even smoke pot. It wasn't paranoia. It was my real life. Like my genuine experience of reality was that I needed to go there. Anyway, the problem was the doctor said, if that happens again, then it's just indigestion, right? I stay home. And he said, no, unfortunately, a lot of people have heart attacks because they're sitting at home going, it's just indigestion. So I have to go back next time, and even if it's just indigestion. And so, I mean, the problem was it was the doctor, and I'm supposed to believe the doctor. You know, don't believe WebMD on your phone, but do believe an emergency room doctor when he says, oh, come back whenever it feels that way. But he was doing like snow angels in a pile of my cash at the time. So I don't know how much I should take his word for that. He said, oh yeah, come on back. Yeah, whenever you feel that acute pain in your chest, you come on back and give us some money. We love it when you do that. Healthcare, for-profit industry. Oh yeah, well, I mean, that also sucks. I grew up in a country where healthcare was just healthcare. I mean, it was just like the fire department. You don't have to go over and say, I'd like to hire you to come and put out my house. I'd like to just pay you. I want the top dollar trucks. I don't want a truck with just a sloshing bucket of water. I want what you bring the rich people. We don't have to do that with the fire department, do we? No. So the thing is, it's normal. See, the thing is about a lot of things, obviously, when we're children, we're told something is so, like Matt was talking about. We're told something is so when we're young, and it doesn't matter what it is, unfortunately. All the cults in the world prove this. When we're told something when we're very young, it is the truth, because we don't have anything dwelling there in that space already. We put that information in as gospel. I mean, including the gospel, unfortunately. So, but all of that information we get told that is the truth, and then we just wander around in the world and some things get disproved, and eventually we have to change our minds. But it's difficult to shift that first lesson. And so I grew up in a place where healthcare was a given, like it was a right, it's a human right. You know, don't let your people die. It's just part of the, yeah, boo, give me a foosball table instead. Boo, health. Yes, because, I mean, Purge the Weak pretty much just happened for the last 15 months. If we got rid of a bunch of weak people, I think, you know, surely our healthcare should be cheaper. COVID just saved everybody a bunch of money. I mean, if we're going to be heartless about it, let's go by the numbers. I mean, facts are facts. There are a lot less weak, sick people than there were 15 months ago.
They were a bunch of twats anyway.
They were probably breathing in each other's belches and generally coughing in each other's mouths. They were doing disgusting things, and we're better off without them. No, I'm obviously joking. Obviously, clearly joking. I mean, rest in peace. I was actually going for, I transitioned during COVID, so I was going for biggest change during COVID. And I'm thinking if there's an award that I can collect, then I should collect biggest, at least I should be in the running for biggest change during the pandemic. Except, you know, obviously RIP, rest in peace, all the people who changed more than I did. But as far as living people who made it through, I think, you know, I'm in the running, at least third. I could medal in that one. I mean, I don't mean medal, I mean get a medal. So let's see. Oh yes, so that's the heart attack. Anyway, I was fine. Indigestion, so embarrassing. But as long as I don't say it into a microphone in front of a bunch of people, then that embarrassment can be taken to my grave. Exactly. Let's see, what's next? Oh yes, I had a wonderful birthday. I did some stand-up that night too. I watched the video and I noticed that the panties I was wearing had a button that was poking out in the middle of my dress, and I'm afraid that probably ruined it. That's probably why it wasn't very funny. It was because of the button on my underwear, wasn't it? I know. So anyway, that's what I did. It was a lovely day. My mum actually sent me a package for my birthday. It was extremely adorable. I woke up, I live with my brother, and I woke up and opened the door, and he has left me a birthday card with my name on it, Madeline, and I opened the card up, and on the front it just says sister, and it's adorable because it's the first sister card I've gotten from him. It's cute. I mean, you know, my birthday last year, I was still, I guess maybe, you know what, makes the story less interesting, but he may have given me a sister card last year as well. But anyway, it meant more this year because I've been on HRT for a while. It's just, it's more fun, it's happening. So anyway, he'd left me a sister card, so that was the first thing I saw when I woke up. My mum sent this package. I got 2 daughter cards from her because she couldn't pick between the 2, and then she wrapped up a bunch of really in pink tissue paper. She wrapped me up 2 different unicorns, she gave me a bunch of stuff. Anyway, it was adorable, and it was an extremely happy birthday. One of the happiest birthdays I've ever had, definitely. Thanks very much. Thank you. Oh yeah, why not? Sure. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. So anyway, I realise obviously, usually stand-up is better when shit things have happened to me. But believe me, I think we can take that as read. We can take that there's definitely other things that I've suffered through, because I have to now tell you about the dominatrixes hiring me to go on vacation with them, and that's just 100% good story. There's no part of the story where I'm hard done by in this story, so I just have to tell somebody because it only happened today. But I suppose I am going to be beaten shitless. So there's that. I will be whipped to within an inch of my life. So that's a hardship I'll have to struggle through. A lot of women in latex whipping me. Oh God, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. But don't worry, trans women die at 4 times the rate of everybody else. So I've got that going for me. Yes, exactly. At least somebody's going to fucking kill me. Woohoo! Anyway, so let's see, what else is amusing? I went to a sperm bank. That was very funny. Okay, so I went to a sperm bank before I started HRT, because HRT, after about 9 months, has an effect on lowering the sperm count. So I went and delivered some of mine before I started. So all of my future children, and probably the future progeny of humanity, are in a sperm bank somewhere. Yes, I went there and dressed as I usually dress. And then they had me go into a back room, which was not, unfortunately, all of my childhood. I imagined when I heard that people went to sperm banks, and I thought, that must be a place to, they've set up specifically for masturbation, like a jizz palace of masturbation, like magazines and porn on the TV, and I don't know, R&B kind of nipple tweaking music playing, like sexy stuff, Well, it wasn't even vaguely that. It wasn't even a room with a leather sofa that you didn't really want to touch. It wasn't even that, we know people who are masturbating in here. It was a normal toilet. It was like an office toilet. Just absolutely, you're thinking of an office toilet, I hope? It was that. It was that from the 70s. Maybe that was the sexy part. Maybe they said, well, we'll refurb the rest of the office, but we should probably keep this normal, small toilet with wood paneling on the inside, because that's more porn-like, isn't it? Maybe that was it, and I was missing it. Okay, so it was quite porny, because of the paneling. But, so anyway, I had to masturbate into this cup, which is kind of tricky. I did it, because I'm a legend, but it was hard. So anyway, I didn't realise that wearing very, very tight underwear for ages lowers the sperm count. I thought that was just for other people, not my sperm. My sperm are fucking Adonai, which I'm assuming is the plural for Adonis. Adonises sounds bad. No, Adonai sounds more official. So anyway, let's see, where was I? Adonai sperm. I've never said that before, so that can't be where I go back to. Oh, yes. Well, just vaguely, I was, yes, low sperm count. So anyway, I went there, towering over the other women all the other nurses. But they said, when you're finished in this room, you take your cup with the lid on, put it in this little, they had a cabinet on the wall that was about a quarter the size of a normal kitchen cabinet, and I was to put my cup in there, close it, and there's a light switch next to it, and when I flicked it up, that would change a red light in the nurse's station away from me to green, and they would know it's time to go collect the sample. But she was proudly informing me, I didn't have to walk back past all the nurses, back through the lobby and everything. I could go through the exit, the very sort of discreet gentleman's exit, I suppose. I was still dressed like this, but she had her spiel and she was going to do it anyway. So I was told I could go through the exit because I suppose for the men who are turning up there, they're busy being men. Men are not embarrassed, nor are men ever looked at knowingly moments after they've ejaculated. So I think that men would probably feel a little bit more comfortable going through the exit that gets you just right back to the elevators, and you never have to see those women that you were talking to and the nurses and so on ever again. So I guess that's why the exit's at the back. And I thought, oh, well, that's a really good idea, because the red-faced men who are having to go to a sperm bank, it wasn't just a sperm bank, it was like, trying to get your sperm count up as well. I guess it was a family planning clinic. Is that what they call them? Family planning clinics? I think that's what it was. Anyway, so they might be red-faced and embarrassed and maybe just want to not look a woman in the eye moments after coming all over the bathroom wall. So I left through the exit, when in Rome, and I went through the back door. Well, it wasn't the first time, but I went through their back door. And so I walked out the back door thinking, well, this is going to lead me to the elevators, and therefore, where my face can get back to normal colour. And it didn't. It just led down a corridor right back to the lobby full of nurses. And so I just made it all the way back, right in front of all the women that I had just thought I was diverting. So I just went, ta-da, finished. And so one nurse just stood up, realizing I had vacated the room, and trotted over to collect my Uber sperm. So anyway, I must be out of time, unless Mike went, oh, he's gone. I'm going to sneak in the last bit of that story. So anyway, am I finished? Oh, okay. Anyway, I have 20 children now. That's the end. No, it's not. Not yet. Anyway, thank you very much for having me. And yes, it must have been too. I got to really shorten that sperm story. Anyway, lovely being here. Thanks very much for listening. Take it easy.
Thank you. Great job, Madeline. Let's hear it, everybody.
Thank you.
Up next.